Sarah thought her marriage was perfect until she noticed her husband Mark spending more time with their neighbor Lisa. The late-night garage meetings seemed innocent at first, but the laughter seemed too familiar, the glances too lingering. Sarah's gut told her something was wrong, though Mark assured her it was just neighborly friendship. Secret phone calls started, always when Sarah was out shopping or gardening. Mark would disappear into the garage, claiming work emergencies that never seemed urgent. Then came the evidence, a lipstick stain that wasn't her shade on Mark's work shirt. Her heart sank as she recognized the color from Lisa's makeup bag last week. When confronted, Mark brushed it off, must be from that office party. But his eyes couldn't meet hers, and the excuses felt rehearsed hollow. That night, Sarah watched from her darkened window as Mark slipped into Lisa's house after claiming he was working late. The betrayal cut deeper than she imagined. 2 days later, Mark packed his business trip bag with unusual care, including the cologne Lisa liked. Sarah watched from the shadows, heart hardening. She followed his car across town, not to the airport, but to a luxury hotel district. Her hands gripped the wheel, tears mixing with determination. There they were, in the hotel lobby, embracing like newlyweds. Lisa kissed him passionately, unaware they were being photographed from the parking lot. Sarah's telephoto lens captured every moment. The kisses, the hand-holding, the room number. Evidence that would destroy their perfect little affair forever. She called her investigator. "They're in room 304. Get audio if possible. I want everyone to hear their lies." Her voice was cold, steady, no more tears. The investigator worked quickly, placing sensitive recording equipment near their door. Soon, their whispered promises and plans would be captured forever. In her car, Sarah organized the evidence, timestamps, photos, messages. Each piece built an undeniable case of betrayal. But she needed one thing more. The investigator returned with the audio. "You'll want to hear this," he said gravely. Sarah put on headphones, bracing for the final proof. Their voices filled her ears, planning to empty their joint accounts, mocking her naivety, laughing about their perfect deception. The betrayal was complete. She made copies, USB drives, cloud backups, printed photos. Nothing could be lost or destroyed. This evidence would protect her in the coming battle. When Mark returned home, Sarah was waiting. "How was your business trip?" she asked coldly, throwing the hotel photos on the table. His face went pale. He stammered excuses until she played the audio, their voices planning financial theft and mocking her. "You were going to leave me penniless," she whispered. He fell to his knees, begging forgiveness, claiming Lisa seduced him, but Sarah's heart had turned to stone. "Too late," she said. "The lawyer has everything." She handed him the divorce papers, favorably tilted toward her thanks to the evidence of financial conspiracy. His dream life was evaporating before him. Next was Lisa. Sarah cornered her in the supermarket aisle. "Enjoying my husband?" she asked loudly enough for other shoppers to hear. Lisa flushed crimson. When Lisa denied everything, Sarah showed the hotel photos on her phone. "Room 304, ring a bell." The other shoppers stared, whispers spreading through the store. Then Lisa's husband arrived, drawn by the commotion. "What's going on?" he demanded. Sarah handed him the evidence. "Your wife and my husband." As he scrolled through the photos, his face darkened with rage. "You did this, with him." The supermarket became their personal courtroom. Within hours, the whole neighborhood knew. The affair that thought it was secret was now the talk of every backyard barbecue and coffee clutch. Mark and Lisa became pariahs. Neighbors crossed the street to avoid them. Their perfect affair had cost them their reputations and friendships. In court, the judge reviewed the evidence with growing disapproval. The financial conspiracy particularly angered him. Attempted theft from a spouse was unforgivable. The ruling was devastating for Mark. He lost most assets, paid alimony, and faced legal fees. Sarah kept the house and financial security he tried to steal. Mark moved into a tiny apartment, his luxurious lifestyle gone. The affair had cost him his home, reputation, and most of his money. Karma was exact. Lisa, too, faced divorce. Her husband left her with nothing after the humiliation. The fantasy affair had destroyed 2 marriages and 4 lives. Now together openly, Mark and Lisa discovered their perfect love was built on deception. They argued constantly about money, blame, and lost futures. Meanwhile, Sarah renovated her home, fresh paint, new furniture, removing every trace of Mark. She was rebuilding her life, stronger than before. She started her own business, something Mark had always discouraged. Now she was thriving, proving she never needed him to be successful. The neighborhood rallied around Sarah, meals, support, friendship. They admired her strength and despised the betrayal that had occurred among them. Mark's professional life crumbled too. The scandal reached his workplace, and he was let go for conduct unbecoming. Karma kept delivering. Lisa couldn't face the community anymore. She moved away, leaving behind the life she destroyed for a fantasy that turned to ashes. Sarah took a vacation, somewhere beautiful and far from memories. She was learning to be happy alone, discovering strength she never knew she had. Mark sat alone in a bar, realizing what he'd lost: a loving wife, beautiful home, respected life, all for an affair that destroyed everything. Sarah built a new social circle, strong, supportive women who valued honesty. They celebrated her resilience and new beginning after the betrayal. Mark tried to apologize months later, but Sarah had moved on. "I forgive you," she said, "but I'll never forget, and I'll never take you back." She donated all his remaining belongings, no souvenirs of the pain. The house was truly hers now, cleansed of the betrayal and ready for new memories. In her garden, once where she'd watched the affair begin, Sarah planted new flowers. Beauty replacing the pain, growth replacing the betrayal. The neighborhood held its annual block party, without Mark and Lisa. The scandal was behind them, and Sarah was embraced as a survivor who inspired them all. Sarah started helping others, women facing similar betrayals. She showed them how to gather evidence, protect themselves, and emerge stronger than before. Sometimes Mark would drive past the house, seeing Sarah's happiness through the windows. The life he threw away was now someone else's to enjoy. Sarah dipped her toes into dating, cautiously, wisely. She'd learned to trust her instincts and value honesty above all else in relationships. She met a kind, respectful man, someone completely different from Mark. Their conversation flowed easily, without secrets or hidden agendas. Her business flourished, the divorce settlement provided startup capital, and her pain became fuel for success. She was becoming the woman she was meant to be. Mark worked a low-paying job he hated, his career ruined by the scandal. The high life he wanted with Lisa was now a distant, impossible dream. Sarah bought herself a new car, something Mark always controlled. Every independent choice felt like reclaiming pieces of herself she'd lost in the marriage. 1 year later, the contrast was stark. Sarah thriving in every way, Mark struggling in every aspect. The betrayal's consequences had redistributed their fortunes. Sarah looked at the camera, strong and confident. "Betrayal tries to break you, but it can also make you. I learned my worth wasn't in his eyes. It was always in here," she continued, touching her heart. "And no affair, no betrayal can ever take that from you again, ever." The camera showed Sarah at peace in her beautiful home, the sunset painting the sky behind her. She had not just survived, she had conquered. "The truth always finds its way to the light," the screen read. "And those who betray others ultimately betray themselves most deeply." If you've learned anything from Sarah's story, remember, trust your instincts, value honesty, and never let betrayal define you. Subscribe for more real stories of truth and justice.